Thanks for joining today. We're going to talk really about how to register for a CLEP exam as a Dantes-funded test taker. What I've prepared today is a brief, pretty slide-intensive step through the registration process. So CLEP is an acronym. CLEP is a standardized credit by exam opportunity for students of all ages to show mastery of college level material. We have 34 subjects in 5 broad categories, including history and social science, business, composition and literature, science and mathematics, and world languages. So you'll see by the list here that many of these subjects are equivalent to freshman or sophomore level college general education coursework. So CLEP provides the opportunity to test out of these courses, and then upon enrolling in a college or university, earning that college credit and moving on to the next course while meeting those degree requirements. For Dantes-funded test takers, if you're eligible, the cost of CLEP exams are free. There's zero cost at all 34 exams. With that being said, this is who is eligible for Dantes-funded CLEP exams. So you'll see our active duty military folks, military spouses of Coast Guard and my CAA, and also Air Force DoD civilians. I borrowed this slide directly from the website. So again, CLEP.org is the website. So all things related to CLEP for our Dantes-funded test taker is on that website, and I'll share a QR code at the end as a reference. So if you need to learn more, find out more information, use the resources, I'll provide that information for you of how to access that, like I said, at the end. What is happening soon, again, this will happen next week on Monday, is a new registration portal. I think for most folks, if you're familiar with the current registration process, it's going to seem very familiar, but it's just updated. Hopefully, we've fine-tuned a couple things to make the process easier. So the new CLEP registration portal launches on next week on Monday or Tuesday, July 16th. The first thing that anyone who wants to take a CLEP exam has to do is create a College Board account. Again, you just go to the website at myclep.collegeboard.org. If you've taken a College Board exam of any type, you'll have a College Board account. Otherwise, it's a real quick process to go ahead and create that College Board account. Upon completion of that, you would then next go to the MyCLEP student portal. And this is the redesigned student registration process. On the portal, when you log in, you will have a dashboard. The dashboard is going to show you any upcoming exams you may have registered for, scores that are available, where you've sent those scores, any statuses if they're in process. We have 2 exams that require a written piece, so those take about 2 weeks to score, as opposed to our exams that receive scores immediately. On this page, there will be a register for a CLEP exam button, and that is the button that will start the registration process. So to go ahead and get started, the first thing to do is click on the register for a CLEP exam button. If you already have registrations, or if you don't have any registrations, you would click on start a new CLEP registration. In order to register a CLEP exam, College Board does need to collect some personal information. So as you click through the buttons, it will be asking you different questions. The first information will be asking for your legal name. Again, we require students at the time of testing to show a government-issued ID. So we want to ensure that the name that you use to register for the exam will match the name you use at the time you take the exam. And then you'll see the other fields here: date of birth, gender, high school name, high school graduation, month and year, email address, and phone number. Again, if anything is incorrect, perhaps you had taken a CLEP exam years ago, perhaps in high school, you can go ahead and edit your profile on the screen as well. Once the information is correct, you would simply hit continue. Again, it's going to ask for the questions. So depending on how you answer the questions, so the education, if you answered your high school graduation, again, it will show you on here your high school name. And you'll see how it will put it here in the red box, the high school name and the high school graduation. Also then on this screen, it will ask you the question about Dante's funding. Are you eligible? And you'll see yes or no. If you're unsure, you'll see there's a blue button that says see if you're eligible, and it will again bring you to that chart on our website to ensure eligibility. Next, it's going to ask about homeschooled, again, a yes or no question. When you talk about education, it's asking for whether or not you're currently enrolled in college, and if so, what's your current level of education in college, freshman, sophomore, etc. Again, if you previously had clicked on the yes, I am eligible for Dante's funding, it will then provide a series of questions to sort that out. So again, if it says yes, it's going to ask you what category you're eligible for. Again, from that previous chart, if you're a member of the military, again, that Air Force civilian or the spouse. It's going to also offer additional questions. Again, members of the military must provide their branch of service. The MyCAA approved spouses must provide the MyCAA ID number and FA number. If you are a Dante's eligible test taker, you must provide a social security number. That's for our record keeping purposes. If you already have an active registration and you're registering for another exam, their Dante's eligibility will be locked, but you'll see an alert about their locked eligibility and guidance to contact customer service if it needs to be changed. So if something changed in your eligibility, you'll be notified of that here, and then we can sort that out by telephoning customer service. Again, once you click through that, you'll be brought to a few additional questions. Again, we're asking you about what branch of the military or Air Force civilian, Coast Guard spouse, or the MyCAA spouse. And you'll see there's several questions on this screen that you'll answer. Next, we'll be collecting the demographic information. And then once completed with that, we will have you begin the exam selection process. To begin the exam selection process, you will have to scroll through, read through, and then scroll through the terms and conditions. And you'll see there's a gray bar on the terms and conditions page that you can scroll through. And then when you hit the bottom, you will be able to check the I agree to the terms and then click continue. This screen shows scores. This is a little out of place, but at the end of your registration and testing, this is a new feature that Dante scores will be available. It's always been a feature. I shouldn't take that back, but this is a feature that's going to show in the new system what that's going to look like. So again, in that dashboard, you'll be able to see when your Dante scores are available. Back to the registering for the exam, you will receive error messages if anything happens that shouldn't happen. So if you're trying to register for exam that you've already registered for, if you're registering for exam and the 90-day window hasn't passed, so that's a College Board policy that if you don't get a score you like on the first attempt, a student has to wait 90 days. If you've registered for exam and you're trying to take it as a second attempt, remember the Dante's funding is only eligible for the first attempt at all 34 exams. You'll be alerted that exam will be charged at the current exam fee, which this year is $95. So those messages will come through and guide you towards continuing your registration, or if you choose not to at that point, you can stop. Once you select your exam, you'll have the option to choose your test location. And the choices are going to be either at a CLEP test center. So if you're a Dantes funded, perhaps you're testing on base at your military installation, or a fully funded Dantes funded CLEP test center. Or the other option is to test via remote proctoring. So at this point, it's not asking which test center, but it's asking, are you going to test at a physical CLEP test center, or would you like to test via remote proctoring? Again, those are the two choices. You click the box and it will proceed. If you check remote proctoring, the remote proctoring fee is also included as part of your Dantes eligibility for funding. For Dantes funded test takers, there will be offered CLEP, what we call an e-guide. It's a practice exam. So it's a full-length CLEP exam with retired items. So none of these items will be on your exam, but it's a way to become familiar with the breadth and the depth of what an exam is going to be like. It's a PDF. So if you're a Dantes funded test taker, this will automatically be added to your cart. The charge to non-Dantes funded test takers is $10, but for our Dantes funded test takers, this is included into your cart as you go through the registration process. So the cart will have your exam, and then it will have your exam guide at no cost, and that will be for every exam that you take. The next question, it's going to say, are you registering for another exam? So again, this is a feature if you know that you have 3 exams you want to take. And just a note, we talk about registration, registrations are valid for 6 months. So if you're at a computer and you know you have 3 CLEP exams you want to take to help meet your degree requirements, you can register them all on a given day and put those out there. You'll be scheduling that testing appointment between the day you register and 6 months. So you'll have 6 months to register for that exam. For our Dantes funded test takers, another feature that we have created is if that 6 months is coming to an end, we cancel that registration ticket on your behalf so it doesn't become a consumed exam. So we know life is hectic, things come up, and you aren't able sometimes to be able to take the exam when you have planned. So we will cancel that registration ticket at the 6-month mark, and then it's just a matter of going back in and re-registering for the exam. So you can register one exam at a time, or this feature now, you can register for multiple exams at the same time. Again, it will ask you to review your order, all the details you shared around your personal information, the exam, your test center, and then again, at the bottom, it will have your order summary as far as the exam and the e-guide. And again, for our Dantes funded test takers, the order summary will also have a total of 0 financial. Again, I mentioned that this was a really short, brief introduction to how to register for the exam. You'll see here is that QR code that I promised. So if you go to our website at clep.org, this will bring you there and the military benefits page. So again, this will be the site where you can find out information about the benefits of CLEP, what exams, preparation materials, and again, information around what I shared today with just really briefly around how to register for the exam. I have a little bit of time. If you have questions, you can ask those. Otherwise, thanks again for attending this session. I appreciate it.